Okay, I think we are live. All right, thanks everybody. As it's now 11 a.m., we're going to get started. Thank you so much to everyone who is joining us today at our Get Ready for Residence webinar. My name is Christine, my pronouns are she, her, and I am part of the Campus Housing Marketing team. I will also be your host for today's information session. We are so excited to have so many folks joining us virtually and hope that this next hour can be used to give you a better understanding of the supports in campus housing and answer some of your questions that you might have. So let's get started. First, we are going to do a land acknowledgement. The University of Waterloo acknowledges that we live and work on the traditional territory of the Neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee people. The University of Waterloo is situated on the Haldimand Tract, the land granted to the Six Nations that includes 6 miles on each side of the Grand River. Throughout this webinar, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A box located to the right of your screen, and they will be answered by campus housing staff who are ready to respond. We have more people attending than we have staff answering questions, so thanks for being patient as we work through them all. The webinar will run till noon, and we should have enough time to respond to all of your questions. However, if you have any additional questions or maybe some follow-up, an email address will be provided at the end of the presentation that you can reach out to. Room assignments have gone out to first-year students, and about 96% of applicants accepted their room offer so far. That's almost 5,000 first-year students coming in the fall. What does that mean? It means that you are not alone and you're all about to embark on your university career at Waterloo. The team here at Campus Housing is so happy to be welcoming you. If you have any questions, like I said, you can ask them to the right of our screen. Our presenters are from all different departments that make Campus Housing run as it does, so we should be able to get to them, big and small. And don't be afraid to ask anything. We know that it is confusing and an exciting and a nerve-wracking time. So yeah, just send them all out. In case of technical difficulties, this presentation will be recorded and posted on our YouTube page. So if you miss something, don't worry, you can always go back and give it another listen. All right, so now that we have all of our housekeeping items out of the way, let's talk about campus housing and everything that you can expect when you move in September. Throughout our time together, I will introduce to you a few campus housing staff members who will talk about our facilities, student life, residence life, and residence learning, and of course, all things move-in. At the end of the presentation, we will also have a live Q&A so you can get all your questions answered before you head out. So that means you'll have a chance to send out questions through the Q&A and I can answer them vocally or we'll continue to answer them in the chat. A big thank you to our staff that are joining us today. Ange is from Maintenance and Security Services. Christopher is a current student and he works for Campus Housing as a residence ambassador. From the Student Development and Residence Experience team, we have Abby and our Residence Life Coordinator, Haley. And last but not least, we have Giovanna and Ruth who will fill us in on all things move-in. Okay. So enough talking from me. Let's get started with some of our guests. First up is Ange, who is our Assistant Manager of Maintenance and Security Services. So Ange, can you give us a little overview of facilities? What do you do and how is your team preparing for the fall?
Thanks, Christine. Hi, everyone. Residence Facilities is made up of 4 teams. Each team has a unique focus and all work together with the goal of creating a safe and enjoyable experience for all students and staff. The Facility Renewal Capital Improvements team works on updating and or providing improvements inside and on the outside of our buildings. They work on projects such as providing new lounge furniture or appliances to improving or creating new pathways, sidewalks surrounding our buildings. The Residence Hospitality Experience team, RHE, is made up of housekeepers and resident attendants that clean all common area student spaces from the front entrance inward. They also assist in minor maintenance work for students, like replacing burnt out light bulbs, unclogging toilets, and replacing batteries and beeping smoke alarms. After hours, like RHE, is a team of resident attendants that clean all common area student spaces and take care of minor maintenance issues, but do so after business hours during the week, which is 4 p.m. to 8 a.m., and then over the weekends. The Maintenance and Security team, MSS, is made up of residence facility coordinators who respond to facility issues reported by staff and students, as well as oversee key control in all common area and student spaces within our housing buildings. For my role as Assistant Manager of Maintenance and Security Services, I oversee our 4 residence facility coordinators and provide support for them when issues escalate outside of their control. We currently are preparing student keys and making sure all maintenance issues within our buildings are taken care of and ready to go for fall move-in.
Thanks, Ange, for helping us get a better understanding of how you and your team work. We get a lot of questions about bathrooms and cleanings leading up to move-in. How is this managed in both traditional style and suite style residences?
In suite style rooms, bathrooms are cleaned by the students who live in the unit. This can sometimes be a tricky situation to navigate when sharing with 1, 2, or even 3 other students. Recommend that it's best to work together with your roommates to create a bathroom environment that works for everyone. In traditional style and in all common areas, bathrooms are cleaned by our RHE and after hours teams a minimum of once per day. It is still the student's responsibility to be respectful when using these washrooms, and if anything is missing, like paper towels or toilet paper, or issues pop up like a clogged toilet, to report these to maintenance. Cleaning and maintenance staff are available in various ways throughout a 24-hour period. You can email your building maintenance address where a residence facility coordinator can assist you in taking the next steps to resolve your issue. Keep in mind the maintenance email is only monitored between the hours of 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. So if any urgent issues arise in the evening or overnight, you would reach out to your building area's front desk, where a front desk assistant can help out by calling an after-hours resident attendant to check things out. Don't ever hesitate to ask our friendly staff for help. And even if it's not a facilities-related problem, they can always point you towards a helpful resource.
That's great. And it sounds like students are moving into a space that's well cared for. Suite style residences or suite style students, don't forget that you are responsible for cleaning your own bathrooms when you move in. And Ange, what if something happens in a student's room or on their floor? How do they go about contacting your team?
As mentioned, residence hospitality experience and after hours teams are responsible for the cleaning and upkeep of all common spaces and washrooms. They also handle some of the maintenance issues that pop up from time to time. These frontline staff members are a great resource as they are available throughout all communities and are very knowledgeable and friendly. If you see one of these staff members in your area, you can ask them for help, and depending on the issue, may be able to help you right away. Maintenance and security services are responsible for the coordination of maintenance and repairs across all housing spaces. Once an issue is reported, whether by email or through the front desk, the maintenance team will work with either RHE, after hours, or plant operations, which is our campus trade department, to ensure the issue is dealt with quickly and effectively. If the issue is more than our RHE and after hour teams can handle, a work order is created to the plant ops trade staff, and they will follow up and work to resolve the issue as quickly as possible. When reporting an issue, it is important for students to be very informative and provide thorough details regarding the issue, and to make sure to provide the specific location the issue is occurring in. For key issues, whether a student loses or breaks a key, they should immediately head over to their building's front desk to get a loaner or replacement key from a front desk assistant. Make sure to have your walk card handy, and the FDAs will ensure the key issue is handled quickly. If a student breaks a key, they should bring their broken key to the front desk and a replacement will be given. Nothing more is needed to be done by the student. And if a student loses or briefly misplaces a key, a loaner key will be issued out and the student has 7 days to find that lost or misplaced key. If the student retrieves their original key, they can return the loaner back to the front desk. If a student does not return the loaner key once the 7 days are up, maintenance will follow up and email the student to confirm if the original key will not be returned. And if that is the case, we will start a process for a lock change and or cut a new key.
Love to hear it. Thanks for all that great advice, as well as all the information you provided today on how you and your team are working to keep our residences in great shape for our incoming first years. If anyone has any other specific facilities or cleaning questions, Ange will be able to answer those during the presentation. Now we're going to move on to our student staff, Christopher, who is currently a residence ambassador for campus housing. Christopher, are you able to tell us a little bit about yourself and your role?
Hi, everyone, of course. So I'm Christopher. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm entering my second year of Honors Health Sciences this September. hopefully pursuing the health informatics option, and I might in gerontology. 1 year ago, I was in the same position as a lot of you folks here today, so I'm not that old when you look at it. I'm currently a residence ambassador for campus housing, a student ambassador with the Visitor Center, and a 2024 orientation leader for the Faculty of Health. So any incoming health students, you will see me during a week.
Love that positive energy. You've been doing a great job this past year as a residence ambassador, leading campus housing tours of our residences. Do you mind sharing us a little bit about your residence experience? Where did you live and what was it like?
Yeah, of course. So in my first year, which was last year, I lived on campus in a traditional style residence called Rev or Ronnet Village. I lived in the Public Health and Health Sciences LLC, which we will discuss later on. My roommate and I coordinated move-in time, so we'd be moved in about an hour or so apart. And then he proceeded to drag me around the floor to introduce ourselves to the new students there and start making some friends. When people say that university has a period of adjustment, I for sure definitely felt that because it was my first time away from home for such a long time. And I know that for a lot of you, you will be in the same kind of boat. But it is important to remember that it is also everyone else's first time at university, which makes the whole meeting new people kind of thing and adjusting to the new environment a lot easier because everybody is going through it together.
That's true, Christopher. And I just want to ask, did you know your roommate before move-in? Like, did you request them on the campus housing preference form as a roommate request?
So I actually did not know my roommate and I did not request somebody. So he was a random at first, but we went from random strangers to like lifelong best friends in those 8 months.
Amazing. It's nice to hear that the first thing on your residence list was meeting your floor mates as well. That's so important and a great icebreaker. So residence life dons are also important members of your floor. Would you mind sharing a bit of your experience with your don?
Of course. So residence life dons are essentially the upper year students that live in residence and they have firsthand experience of residence and university life. They organize community and floor events like cookie decorating, tote bag painting, and ice cream and Hunger Games movie night, which are all different events that my don hosted. And just in general, there are a lot of other support staffs available in residence outside of your don, like the maintenance team or the front desk assistants. And one of my favorite memories from my first year is when all my floor mates and I borrowed board games from the Rev front desk and played them as a bonding experience after moving. The Rev front desk is actually open 24/7, so we just picked a few games. I think we had Headband and Cards Against Humanity, and hours flew by, and before we knew it, we were having so much fun, and it was getting really late.
Great. Those bits of advice about your own experience can definitely be reassuring for new students to hear from someone who's gone through it not too long ago. So you've taken part in a number of opportunities within housing for students. Can you talk about some of those?
Of course. So there are tons of opportunities for students to get involved in through volunteering, executive positions, and on-campus jobs, which can all be found through the campus housing website. This resource was actually a really big lifesaver for me, when I was trying to get involved with the school community. I actually got involved with campus housing through the residence ambassador application back when I began university in September 2023. From there, I continued this position throughout the past 3 terms, which is where I give tours to prospective students of my dorm room and residence building, as well as participate in events like this. And along with being a residence ambassador for campus housing, I'm also a student ambassador for the Visitor Center. I help deliver campus tours to prospective students. So you might have me as your tour guide if you decide to book one. And hint, hint, it's a really good tour. I give really good ones. And I do give a lot of tours through both ambassador positions. So you will see me running around, talking a lot everywhere around campus. And I heard about the student ambassador applications from my residence ambassador manager. She's always been very supportive and helped me make the team run smoothly and support all of us. And there's always tons of posters around campus that would make you aware of a lot of the job openings that are around. And you always got to make sure that you check the requirements and deadlines when applying, and campus housing always has a lot of jobs available for you.
Yeah, that's great. Really great way to get involved and meet new people. Campus Housing has a job web page that currently has some opportunities listed. There's also some volunteer opportunities, like I know the Marketing Advisory Board was just posted. That's only 2 evening meetings in the fall term, and it's great for your resume. It's a great way to tell us like how you're doing within residence and your experiences with the application and move-in process. So a lot of students don't know that they can also live here as upper years. Do you know if the upper year experience differs at all?
So I'm going into second year and I have chosen to not live on campus this year, but I do know that a lot of people still do choose to live on campus from their second year and beyond. My former residence rep is a first year only residence, and we do have 4 upper year communities that are available that do kind of intertwine upper years with first years. Living in residence, even in your upper years, allows you to access all those support services like your Dawn and the residence life team and academic supports as well. And you are surrounded by like-minded peers and study spaces, which allows you to easily step into the right mindset for school. You have the luxury of being near campus and well within a short walking distance of all the eateries and buildings. And in terms of leasing, the prices for housing are all inclusive and only require 1 payment at the beginning of the term. Another concern you might have is in regard to subletting. Considering many UWaterloo students are in co-op programs, and campus housing offers a lot of flexible housing contracts where you do not need to worry about finding a sublet.
Yeah, so it's definitely something to keep in mind throughout your first year, as students generally start to look for housing in the new year for the fall, for the next fall. So finally, Christopher, what's some advice you would give to our incoming first year students?
So I really need to emphasize this again. It is everyone's first time coming to university, and for most people, their first time living away from home for such a long time. And you might feel really nervous entering first year. I know that I definitely did because none of my close friends came to UWaterloo with me. But everybody is likely experiencing similar feelings to you, so you are not alone. And just also be open to stepping out of your comfort zone, especially during the first week. O week is the best time for making friends, so you really gotta put yourself out there. Gotta try getting involved in some clubs that you're interested in as well. There's always big club fairs that happen, so go check those out. And talk to the people that you have classes with, and get their social media or anything really to stay in touch with them. Because you're gonna wanna have a group of people that you can go to if you miss a class or you want help studying with assignments or anything. And being proactive is so vital to shaping your experience here. And also, just before I finish, I know I've done a lot of talking now. Everyone should be doing their own additional research by checking out the campus housing website to learn more about your specific residence, including a packing list. Residence is basically going to be your home for the next 8 months while you're in university. So you're going to want to know what you're getting into. Residence is what you make of it, and it is crucial to make the best of it. I live in Ronette Village. I made the best of it. I loved it, and I would live there again.
Thank you so much, Christopher, for all that great advice and giving a little more insight into the student experience here at Campus Housing. I hope all of our incoming residents are able to have as great a time as you, and we appreciate you opening up to share your experiences with everyone here. And I like what you said, it's residence is really what you make of it. I'd now like to pass it over to Abby, one of our residence life coordinators. Abby, are you able to tell me about the role of an RLC? How do you work with students, and what kinds of things would they come to you for?
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. Super happy to be here with all of you on this webinar today. So as Christine mentioned, my name's Abby. My pronouns are she and her. And I'm currently one of 8 residence life coordinators that works here in Campus Housing. So part of our portfolio is overseeing specific residence building areas and that team of residence life dons, which you heard Christopher refer to a little bit earlier. So my role in residence is to offer support to students, help students navigate their experience in university and living in residence. I often work with students who might experience like a few struggles and difficulties just adjusting to living on campus. And I provide support, we'll listen to them, and then also offer some resources. I also support students with following residents' expectations within the community, or if students come forward with concerns about their residence experience, again, they can come chat with me and I can provide resources and opportunities for learning and collaboration.
That's so great to hear that students have staff like you to support them through this transition into residence and throughout their entire stay within campus housing. So tell us what kind of programs students can look forward to that you and your team are working on this fall.
Yeah, so we do recognize that like every community is a little bit different. And so every student may have a slightly different expectation of what they would ultimately like from their residence experience. But that's why we have our Residence Life Dawns here to be able to support students with their residence experience. So they do that through one-on-one connections. They'll use that to learn more about you, what your needs and interests are, and also offer weekly community programs. So you heard, again, Christopher refer to a few that his Dawn did when he lived in residence. But those could range from like board game nights, going for bubble tea, or even just like taking a walk over to Waterloo Park. Ultimately, we want you to know that like our Residence Life Dawns are there to support community building and create opportunities for you as students to connect, as well as have a bit of a break from your academics.
Always something to look forward to. Those programming events can be a great opportunity to take a break from studying and hang out with new friends. How are Dawns different than RLCs?
Yeah, so as Christopher also mentioned, like Residence Life Dawns are full-time students who are live-in staff members, so they live in the residence buildings with our students. Their role is ultimately to support students with direct community concerns, again, create those connections and social opportunities. So your Residence Life Dawn will, again, facilitate one-on-one connections with each resident throughout the semester. So they understand what your concerns might be and also be able to refer you to some resources that might be able to support you. Our Residence Life Dawns are really knowledgeable. They go through a really extensive training just before everyone moves in. So they do have a good understanding of what resources are available on campus to support students with their needs, whether that's from like how to support your academics or even just how to join a club. So our Residence Life Dawns do work closely with Residence Life coordinators to support the student experience. But ultimately, Residence Life coordinators like myself are full-time staff members. So typically we would meet with students who may need some additional support or resources in their transition to living in residence. And again, can provide some additional resources that maybe might be on or even off campus if a student needs it.
Okay, great. So it's good to know that each student will be designated a Dawn that can support them on a day-to-day basis, but then they'll also have access to Residence Life coordinators should, anything need to be escalated or if there's something that a Dawn can't handle. Can you talk a little bit about what is available to support them, like anything additionally?
Yeah, of course. So again, what support looks like may be a little bit different for everyone. So we do our best to ultimately offer like resources and supports that are specific to you as a student and ultimately what your needs are. But we definitely have a lot of individuals and supports available that students can access whenever they need them. So for example, our Residence Life Dawns do an on-call shift between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. So if you need any support through the night, again, we have Residence Life coordinators who are full-time staff members who work during the day. We also can refer you to some peer support. So that might be various on-campus group like MATES, which again is a peer support group that we can get you connected with. We can also help with getting students connected to counseling services on campus, the Student Success Office, or really any other resource that would support your overall well-being. Ultimately, if we don't have the support that we're able to offer you in the moment, we will do our best to ensure that we are working with you and helping you look to get connected to the resources that you need, even if some of those might be off campus.
Okay, so now that we've gone through the role of a Dawn and the role of an RLC, what if students are interested in working for campus housing as a Dawn when they are in upper year? What should they be thinking about in their first year and how do they apply?
Yeah, so if you're ever interested in wanting to become a Dawn, ultimately it involves being someone who wants to support and again facilitate connections with others. So throughout your first year, you should be reflecting on things like, do you like being a leader, a team player? Do you enjoy working with other students? Do you feel like there's opportunities in your academic schedule to balance being a Don and still manage your academics and create those boundaries? Ultimately, if you end up answering yes to any of those questions, you should definitely apply to our Don position. Usually those applications for the next year open towards the end of the fall term. So you'll have a few months to kind of feel things out and see if this might be a position that you are interested in. Something to note with our Don position is that it is compensated through their housing. So it's not like an hourly paid position, but you do get compensated again because you'd be living in residence during this position.
Okay, great. And then we did talk about jobs available with students for Christopher. Aside from being a Don, is there anything else that we should know about that's available to students?
Yeah, so we definitely have a couple other positions that I'd like to chat about. One of those being our residence engagement leaders. So these are this is a student group who supports our Dons with, again, more of those social events. So it's a really great role to take on if you would like a closer look at the Don role and figure out if that's something, if that is something that might be for you. This position is a paid position and is paid hourly. And again, you get to do more of the social side of planning. Now, if you're someone who's maybe wanting to get more involved right away in your first year, we also have our residence council. So residence council is made up of current residents from all of our residence buildings, and again, help plan and organize events for our larger residence areas. In the fall and winter, we usually have a North Council and a South Council, which are made up of both executive as well as members at large positions. Applications for these roles typically open at the end of summer before the first week of term. So definitely keep an eye on your email over the next few weeks in case you're interested in looking into that position.
Yeah, that'll be posted on the Campus Housing website as well. So Abby, is there any other advice you'd like to share with our students as a University of Waterloo graduate who lived in housing?
Yeah. Ultimately, you know, moving into residence is a very, very exciting time, but we also recognize it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. I still remember like my first day moving into residence and having a wide range and mix of feelings. So my advice based off like my experience and now also working in housing is really to attend events. We host so many different opportunities for you to get to know others. So literally just show up. It's probably how you might end up meeting some of your best friends that you'll keep throughout the rest of your university career. Keep an open mind, ask questions, know that there are people here to support you. So please just don't hesitate to reach out to someone if you do need support or if you're ever feeling unsure about anything. Ultimately, I would just encourage everyone here to just embrace the journey that you're going to go through. Your first year is going to be a great opportunity for a lot of growth and creating some long-lasting memories.
Okay, thank you, Abby. This has been really helpful, and I hope our students listening will be able to connect with their Dons and their residence life coordinator once they move in. So now we're going to chat with Haley, who is a residence learning coordinator for residence learning. Campus Housing runs the Residence Experience Program to see students through their first year. Haley, what is this, and how can our students living in residence access it?
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name's Haley. My pronouns are she, her. Our residence experience is guided by a curricular approach, and we focus on the students and the learning that occurs outside the classroom. It's offered to everyone in campus housing. As you can see, we have 4 learning goals that provide the direction and shape the experiences that we offer in residence. Our learning goals are academic engagement, identity development, community engagement and responsibility, and developing resilience. We offer learning opportunities in multiple ways over the course of the year. Some examples where you may participate in the residence experience include community meetings with your floor hosted by your Don, having one-on-one conversations with your Don, your roommate agreement, and participating in other events happening in residence or even on campus.
Great. Haley, what type of academic supports can students find within residence, and how do they access them? We always hear about tutoring and other study events.
Yes, you can find many academic supports in residence as you're here to support your transition to university. Ultimately, our residence learning team is committed to helping you make connections with your faculty. In addition to our living learning communities, which I'll talk about in a minute, students will get to participate in our drop-in tutoring program, which is open to all University of Waterloo students. The course schedule is currently being finalized, so we're excited to update our webpage, which will include which courses we are providing support for, as well as when drop-in tutoring will be available. The real beauty of this program is that students can attend these drop-in tutoring sessions as often and for as long as they want. In addition, students will come to see that there are numerous study spaces and common areas that students can stay on top of their academics and meet up with peers from their program and faculty.
Okay, I can definitely recommend this. This is a great option for students. What are some ways students can stay connected with their courses while also building relationships with their classmates, floor mates, or friends that they have?
That's a great question. It can be challenging finding that balance in your first year. As mentioned, we are here to help with that transition. There are many supports and resources available to help students connect with their peers, whether it's through the Living Learning community or through tutoring. It's also important as a student in university that you're actively taking the initiative to be involved in your learning, advocate for your needs, share feedback, reach out to classmates, and show up and be present in your learning. We want to optimize your experience at the university. When it comes to academic supports, there's so much available both within the residence community and on campus with your faculty. Ask your Don, peer leader, professor, or a friend about them and utilize those resources.
Perfect. Do you have any tips yourself for students on how to be successful academically in their first year?
Certainly. You're coming to a new environment. It's important that you allow yourself to be curious and explore within what campus housing in the university has to offer. If you have a study strategy that worked for you, try to maintain elements of that as you'd establish your routine here at UW. I always recommend that students try to explore and find space with few distractions when doing your work and use that as your dedicated study space. If you're doing group work, utilize those common spaces or any form of virtual connection to work with classmates on assignments. And when studying, it's strongly recommended not to mix your work and play. Start with short study periods and build to longer periods only as fast as you can maintain concentration. Everyone is different, and we in residence learning are here to help all students be successful.
Hopefully students are able to find the right space for them so that they can be successful. And it's great to hear that there are different options outside of just their classroom or their bedroom. Do you have any additional advice for our incoming students?
Find what works for you. Take the initiative to reach out when you need it. Have one question or many, feel free to ask. We will happily help you with what you're seeking. Another piece of advice would be around how students currently manage their time. I had a hard time adapting, and when I realized how much I value routine and structure to my day, take the time to review your strategies and adjust as needed. University is a new experience for everyone, so don't hesitate to connect with your peers. Your experience will truly be what you make of it.
So we also have living learning communities within residence that your team manages. If you can share with us just like a little bit about living learning communities, because we do have a large number of students who some of who are probably with us today who are going to be living on LLC floors.
Mhm. Yes, overall, we have 7 living learning communities that bring students together from the same program or faculty. These students will live near each other on the same floor, have access to a peer mentor who is an upper year student, as well as enhanced support in their academic program and faculty initiatives. In addition, students can tell who is in an LLC and which LLC they're in based off the sticker on their name tag outside their door. Participants of the Living Learning Community Program can look forward to fun, social, and academic events with students in your program or faculty, that one-on-one mentorship, a welcome event with your faculty, and more over the course of the year. We are looking forward to it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Haley. And I hope students are able to make or take advantage of some of the tutoring and studying tips that you had to offer today. I now like to welcome Giovanna and Ruth. Giovanna and Ruth are the current move-in operations coordinators. Why don't you introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about your role this summer?
Sure. So, hi, thank you all for attending today. My name is Ruth, as Christine mentioned, and my pronouns are she and her. I'm one of the move-in operations coordinators here at Waterloo, along with.
Hi, everyone. My name is Giovanna, and I am also one of the move-in operations coordinators, also go by she, her. As move-in operations coordinators, we organize all things move-in related, from traffic flow to volunteers. Our job is to make sure that move-in is a positive and welcoming experience for all incoming residents.
Okay, so Giovanna and Ruth are questions experts. I guess just to start off, what can we expect from move-in this year and what do we need to know?
So this fall, move-in will take place across 4 days, Thursday, August 29th to Sunday, September 1st. So if you're an international student, you are encouraged to arrive on Thursday, August 29th to attend your international student-specific orientation. Additionally, undergraduate students who are in NKV 4th floor and V1 South and West are also eligible to drop off belongings during our early belongings only drop-off period between August 15th to the 17th. Students will have 2 hours to drop off belongings and leave.
Yeah, and please note that you cannot move in earlier than August 29th, and this is to ensure that our rooms are in tip-top shape before your arrival. Should you require short-term accommodation, we recommend you check out our short-term accommodations page on Campus Housing. All students who are moving into residence will receive an email on August 1st, so this Thursday, that will allow you to select a move-in time slot as well as any additional information pertaining to your move-in appointment. Time slots are 30-minute windows to allow you time to pick up your keys and move your belongings up to your residences. This is in order to manage traffic flow and prevent backup at the front desks of your residence. And so it's very important that you select your preferred move-in time slot as soon as you get that email.
Also, all students who are moving into residence will only see the move-in options they are eligible for. The system will only allow you to book one option. So however, you will be able to change your time slot up till August 29th. So if you pick in 9 a.m. Thursday slot, but 9 a.m. Saturday works better for you, no problem. You can change it, the time slot, if the time slot is available. More information about late arrivals will be communicated soon.
So those are some good tips. What about getting to campus and are there any options for students coming from the airport?
So on June 27th, all eligible students were sent an email that contained important information regarding airport shuttles, as well as a web form link to register and receive their code using their UWaterloo account. Students will use their code to register on the Airways Transit website. The service is available for new incoming international undergraduate and graduate students. So once your shuttle arrives on campus, there will be several directional staff who will guide you to pick up your keys, help you carry your belongings, and help you locate your room. If you have any questions regarding the service, please email them to isc@uwaterloo.ca. And if you have any questions about your shuttle, want to make any changes, or cancel your booking, please email info.waterloo@airwaystransit.com. If you're unsure about your eligibility for the shuttle service, you can check the FAQ page or email isc@uwaterloo.ca. The ISC team will track registrations and let you know if your registration is not eligible.
Okay, so just to note that, because you said all eligible students would have received communications on June 27th, that is for new incoming international students and grads.
Yeah.
Okay, so say we've just arrived on campus. What should students expect to see or experience when they get here?
Yeah, so in a couple of weeks, that important email that was mentioned earlier that would allow you to sign up for a move-in appointment will also include maps that will help you navigate where you drive in, where you pick up your keys, and where you unload your belongings. So continue to monitor your inbox. Throughout the 4 days, there will be loads of directional signage and volunteers who will help guide you. You are permitted to bring multiple guests as you'd like to help you move in. However, please be considerate of your roommates and suite mates with respect to space. Also, we will have move-in help available to you. So in your unloading zones, there will be designated movers who will help carry your belongings to your rooms, and there'll be move-in carts that will allow for easy transportation of your belongings. And in order to pick up your keys, we require that you bring a physical form of government-issued photo ID with you and have your student number ready to go. Keys cannot be given to individuals who do not bring government-issued photo ID, so it's essential you have that packed up along with your other list of items to gain access to your residence and your room. Keys will be provided to you along with your exact floor and room number when you check in at the front desk. You will also receive your walk card, which is your Waterloo Student ID card. It will grant you access to various services on campus, such as printing, food services, your meal plan, laundry, gym membership, and even transportation. Remember to upload your photo by Monday, August 19th at 11:59 p.m. so that your walk card is ready for you when you arrive to pick up your keys during the move-in weekend. If you submit after the 19th, you will be required to pick up your walk card from Needles Hall during their business hours. So should you have any other move-in related questions, you can email us at movein@uwaterloo.ca.
Okay, thanks. So two things from that. Don't forget your ID because you won't get your keys. That happens every year, unfortunately. Students will arrive with a car packed full of things and no identification, so they can't move in. They'll have to go home and get it. Secondly, don't forget to upload your photo for your walk card so that you'll have it ready for you move-in weekend. The lineups at the walk card office at the beginning of the school year can be very, very long, so it's just best to avoid that. So now we've heard a bit of information about move-in. Is there anywhere where we can find out what we should and shouldn't pack for residents?
So on our website, we have a variety of packing lists to help support your move into residence. We have lists suggested for school supplies, appliances, clothing, laundry, bedding, and more. And we also have lists specifically for suite style rooms that include kitchen materials we recommend you pack, as suites do not include dishes or cooking utensils. So if your roommates have shared their information with you, we suggest connecting with them so you don't bring 8 pots but only 2 plates. If you happen to forget a few essentials when arriving to campus, don't worry, you can always check the W store for all your course materials, school supplies, dorm essentials, and Waterloo gear.
Okay, packing is definitely something did I miss? Maybe? No? Okay. Packing is something to not wait to the last minute, and it'll be great to check out that list on what to plan so you can plan ahead. What sort of things should students be aware of when finalizing plans to arrive on campus?
Yeah, so September 1st is the last date in our regular move-in period, and please note that this allows you time to attend your orientation, welcome week events, and your first floor meeting with your Dawn, where you can meet all your new floor mates and settle in. Additionally, September 2nd, Labor Day, is a holiday, so a majority of stores and services on campus will be closed. So we encourage you not to wait until the last minute to purchase items or school materials. If you cannot move in by this time, please wait for late arrival communication or email movein@uwaterloo.ca to see how this process will work.
Great. So Ruth and Giovanna, is there any one piece of advice or something you'd like to tell students look forward to as students yourself?
For sure. So I would say it's essential to push yourself the first couple of weeks to talk to people, ask people on your floor to go on a walk around campus if you can, especially the Earth Sciences building, which it was my favorite. It might also make finding your classes in the first week way less intimidating. Join clubs or study groups, ask your roommates to try out a local cafe or play pool in the residence. Everyone is trying to make friends within the first couple of weeks, so it's a perfect opportunity to push yourself to try new things.
Yeah, also everyone is a bit nervous being in a new place or school or living area in general. And so everyone might just be feeling the same way. And so don't hesitate to start a conversation with your roommates or floor mates. Be sure to connect with your Dawn in residence to gain knowledge on support and events around campus as well. Also, if you're like me and plan on waiting until you move in before purchasing any additional equipment for your dorm, I would recommend purchasing items from stores not closest to the university. Usually by the beginning of move-in week, items from these stores tend to be picked through. And so I would advise buying what you can before arriving to campus and looking for stores slightly further away from campus to have a better variety to choose from. And also the W store is always a great option.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Thanks, Giovanna and Ruth, and thank you to Abby, Haley, and Christopher, and Ange again as well. It's been great chatting with you, and we appreciate you being here. So now for some extra details we'd like to highlight for you folks. The advisors who manage our inbox, they are receiving a high volume of inquiries at this time. So here are a few of the most common ones that we have yet to cover. When do I pay, common questions, I should say, when do I pay my residence fees? Your residence fees along with your tuition will be arranged on August 20th and will be paid through your Quest account. So any fees information that or if you're trying to look to see what they are, you can find that by logging into your Quest account. For more information on payments, always check in with Student Financial Services. Next question. If things change and you are no longer able to come to residence, what should you do? Not to worry. Please reach out to one of the advisors by email at housing@uwaterloo.ca to discuss options and your next steps. If you are a study permit student, you can receive. It's possible you can receive a refund on your residence fees and sorry. I'm going to address that later. What about the folks that you're looking at looking at deferring their offer of admission. So if you defer your offer of admission before August 1st, I know that's very soon, you could receive your deposit back. And finally, if you move into residence and decide it's not for you, our Residence Life team, as Abby has talked about, are here to support you. Any questions or concerns about cancellations or withdrawals, please visit the Campus Housing website. We have a page itself for cancellations and withdrawals. The W Store. The W Store on campus is a great resource. You should go check it out. If you haven't bought any Waterloo swag yet, or you're looking for some room supplies, give them a follow on their social media, or you can check out their website. The W Store has tons of apparel, items to outfit your dorm, and many more. You can also order your textbooks and course materials from the W Store, so check them out too. Food Services is your go-to contact for any meal plan inquiries. We are taking some right now, but eventually it's all going to shift over to the Food Services inbox. If you need to add more money to your account, this happens throughout the year, or if you have any questions about locations, dietary restrictions, you can reach out to them. Food Services also has an on-campus dietitian who works with students to navigate any dietary restrictions and accommodations. They have recently included an app. They recently included, Remember, if you have any, if you're living in a suite style residence, meal plans are optional, but if you're living in a traditional style residence, they are mandatory. So that was a lot of information that we just covered. Let's recap what you should keep on your radar. Give us a follow on social media at UW Housing. We'll be posting more information throughout the summer, including important dates, move-in information, what to pack, and feel free to DM us with any additional questions. Plus, during the school year, we'll post weekly updates of things happening in residence and on campus. This normally happens on Mondays. Second point, make sure you're checking your Waterloo email address for move-in information. Everybody should be going, all in communications from us will go to that Waterloo email account. So make sure that is what you're opening, every day or every other day. Start getting your things together so that what you want to bring to residence and get ready to move in either August 29th, 30th, 31st, or September 1st. So for the remainder of the time here, we're going to answer some questions for you. If you have any questions for our guest here today, feel free to start posting them in the chat. You can open the chat by clicking the three dots that appear when you hover over the bottom and clicking on that bubble. Make sure that you are submitting questions to all of our participants. We'll do our best to go over as many questions as possible. Just going to take a look now. See if I can answer any. So one student asked, I was assigned to UWP, how does picking up mail or packages work? So on our Campus Housing website, there are addresses for all of our residence buildings. If parents wanted to send mail or care packages or something from Amazon or the sort, you can get the address of your residence building and packages will go there. Normally you'll get an email letting you know that the package has arrived, and then you'll go down to the front desk of your residence building to pick them up. Can we retake our walk card photos after receiving the physical card? You can go back into the offices to have your photo redone. I'm not sure if there's a fee to do that. There may be, but you can take a few pictures, see which one you like best, and go from there. There are a few walk card questions I see. So there's going to be an email going out this week about move-in, and it will include links to upload your photo for your walk card and more information on how you're going to pick that up. So make sure to look for that in the email. Where would I be able to print papers for my classes? Are there any fees along with that? So we do have printers at all of our front desks. All you have to do is send the front desk an email, and you'll go down to the front desk and use your walk card to pay for any print work. that you have requested. So you'll pay from your walk card and you'll send it all to your resident's front desk. When will we receive emails and reminders containing more move-in information as we get closer to the move-in date? So that will be this week. The move-in email is very long. It is very detailed. So I would take a few minutes to sit down and go through it all. Maybe you want to go through it all with your parents or supporters as well, so that you don't miss anything. And so you can plan your move-in weekend so that it'll best suit your needs and whoever is helping you move in. Giovanna and Ruth, do you want to actually comment any further on the walk card questions, because there are so many coming in?
So in terms of walk card, the only information we currently have is bring your physical ID to get your walk card along with your keys, and also to have it done by a certain day, by August 19th, submit it on the website of the walk card form. That's about all we have. And we also have the walk card hours included as well. So I believe during the move-in weekend, the Needles Hall will be open from 8 a.m. to 4:30, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm hoping that's correct. From the August 29th to September 1st. And it is the Labor Day the next day, so they are not open the next day. But in case you guys are not able to get it into that deadline, you guys can always wait by Needle Hall.
Okay. Do you have any information about orientation? I know that's not really our department, but there are a couple of questions about what happens during orientation and the timing of it.
We do not have a lot of information on orientation. We know there's a parent orientation at V1 on, I believe, this Saturday and Sunday, and there is the Warrior Welcome on the Sunday as well, and the international orientation. I don't know what's being discussed in those time slots. I'm guessing it's just a lot of introduction, making everyone feel as welcome as they can, answer any questions, last minute questions before everyone moves in. But if anyone wants to email us at movein@uwaterloo.ca, we can forward you guys to the right people. I believe there is a website we can refer you to as well that we can post in the chat.
Okay. Someone asked what kind of ID is acceptable for move-in day. That is a government issued ID, correct? And no health card? Yeah, you wouldn't accept a health, right?
Yeah. So ideally a driver's license or a passport. A health card is not considered like a government issued photo ID, even though we would assume it is. So yeah, ideally those first two forms of ID are acceptable.
And make sure you have a physical form. A picture is not enough. We cannot give you the keys based on a picture.
Are move-in appointments first come, first serve?
So move-in appointments will be released, and students can start booking them on August 1st, so this Thursday. And each time slot there is like a limit, so it is basically first come, first serve. But if you're early to book, you'll have a variety of appointment times to choose from for the dates August 29th to September 1st.
Also, if you do need, like you're coming at a certain time and you know that for a fact, you can just, again, email us at movein@uwaterloo.ca. We can try to make another appointment time slot for other people if there's a variety of people messaging us for a time slot. We don't mind adding that in. It's so our staff can know how much to prepare in terms of how many people are coming.
Okay. I'm still seeing a lot of questions about orientation. I think it's best to wait until you hear from the SSO about the scheduling for orientation, because they organize all the programming for that. And I imagine if our move-in email is going out tomorrow, the SSO one will as well. But not tomorrow, but very soon. Can I bring as many people as I need to help me move in? You can, however, it's important to be considerate of possibly like your suite mates or your roommates who will be moving in. If it's at the same time and there's two families moving in, you should just really be cautious of space. Also, some students like to bring grandparents, and not all rooms are as accessible as other ones. So you might want to plan in advance, because unfortunately it is something that comes up every year. Is there anything, other questions that you see coming up, Ruth and Giovanna, that we should address? What about when they move in? What happens with the cafeterias? Like, will they be able to use their meal plan right away? Their walk card is what they tap for their meal plan.
I believe if their card is loaded, it should be accessible right away. If not, you guys, you can reach out to the front desk assistants. Hopefully they're not too busy that day. It is move-in. But again, we're not so sure about that.
Yeah, that's okay. So our cafeterias will be open. So this is another really important reason to register for your walk card early, and so that you can pick it up with your keys, is that your walk card is how you're going to pay in our eateries or any of the restaurants on campus. So as long as you have that, you'll be able to access your meal plan right away from D1 or day one. So another very important reason to register early for that. Oh, thanks, Ruth, for posting the link to the orientation in the chat in the Q&A. Okay, we have a few more minutes. If there are any other questions, you can post them. Something I also see happen the first week is there are a lot of times students will leave their room to go to the bathroom, or they will leave their room to go visit people next door, and they will lock themselves out of their room. And they can't get back in. So what happens when you do that? You can go downstairs to the front desk, and the front desk will give you a loaner key. And then you'll be able to go back in your room, get your key, and then you'll have to return the loaner key back to the front desk. And Ange mentioned below or earlier that you'd have 7 days with a key if it was misplaced or something. So you want to make sure to return that as soon as possible. Eric said he locked himself out after showering once. Okay. So I think that pretty much sums it up for today. So if there are any other questions that you might have thought of over the last hour, or something that comes up, you can always email Campus Housing at housing@uwaterloo.ca. We do our best to respond to students within a timely manner, and we respond to every email and every phone call that comes in. So yeah, no need to stress. There's one more questions. V1. Oh, that is a good question, actually. I will be living in V1. Is there any way for me to know about my floor mates? So within your room assignment on your welcome homepage, you can only see who your roommates are or who your suite mates are. You can't see anybody else on your floor. You'll be meeting your floor mates the day you move in or that weekend that you move in. Okay. So this presentation is going to be shared on YouTube within a couple days or the next week. So if you want to go back on anything, please take a look on our Campus Housing YouTube account. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. There will be a reminder you'll be able to find. Sorry, this will also be found in the Student Success Office's incoming first year page. Once again, you can send all remaining questions to housing@uwaterloo.ca, and don't forget to include your student number. Okay, thank you everyone, and thank you to our presenters.